Hello and welcome to Wait, for real?
A true crime and paranormal podcast. I'm Grace,
And I'm Katie.
and I'm putting my phone on Do Not Disturb.
That's right, or else you're going to hear the weird ding
I
in the
just got
middle.
a message and I was like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah. But how are you, Katie?
Oh, living the dream.
Aren't we all?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like so much is happening in my life. So you guys know Miss Peaches. Um, this might be her last episode with us
Yeah.
because she's getting rehomed.
Yes, she is.
Um, she's going to a really nice college student, and it's going to be the best option because Peaches and Pancake don't get along and they try to kill each other.
Yes.
And it's been horrible, absolutely horrible for months. So that should be transpiring this week, actually, that we're
Mm-hmm.
recording. But we
And
shall.
the week that they're listening, because we're recording the day before you guys
Yeah, listen, guys,
see this.
I couldn't get my shit together this week, okay?
That's okay. It'd be like that.
It does. It does be like that. Katie and I talked on the phone for 2.5 hours yesterday, though,
Yeah.
while
And
I
we
went to all the
FaceTime the day
stores.
before.
Look at us.
I know. Like
Finally
old
getting back
times.
into our routine.
I know.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's that for Peaches. And then other news. I don't think we talked about it last week about Matt Rife.
No, you sent me no, because it
Yes.
happened in between,
So
I
I did
think.
want to give the listeners an update. So obviously, Katie has talked about the Annabelle doll and Ed and Lorraine Warren a million times. We are big fans, big fucking fans. But comedian Matt Rife reveals that he is now the caretaker of the haunted Annabelle doll and other artifacts. So he announced on Instagram that he and his friend and fellow YouTuber Elton Casti purchased the former home of Ed and Lorraine Warren. And um, again, a good quick recap is Conjuring films, think of them.
Yep.
So he is also now going to be the legal guardian for at least the next 5 years for the entire haunted collection that is inside their home.
Mhm.
That includes the Annabelle doll. And again, he says he does not legally own those items, but he's going to be the legal guardians of them and caretaker of them. And he said that fans will be able to book a night or a weekend in the Warrens' former home. And it's going to be operated as an Airbnb.
Oh,
So,
no. I did not
oh,
know that.
yeah.
I really
Yeah.
can't
So,
advise enough not to do that.
yeah, like that's a hard pass for me in general, but I also am upset that they're doing that in general. But I will
Well,
say, so wait, go ahead.
no, you go and then I'll say my thoughts.
I was just going to say, so the Tony Spera, who is the Warren son-in-law and
Mhm.
co-director of the New England Society for Psychic Research, clarified that he and his wife still own the doll and all of the collection. Like they will never sell the collection. They said that is
Okay.
theirs; it will stay in the family.
Okay.
And then as far as the house sale, um, it did not sell for a lot of money, which is surprising. Like it sold for like $500,000, but
Hmm.
um the grandson of Ed and Lorraine Warren was very upset by this and was extremely frustrated that this was even something that happened and they weren't aware that that was even happening. Especially because they're like, that was my grandparents' house. Like I grew up going there and
Yeah.
riding my bike and playing in the yard and all those things. Sorry, my laptop unplugged. Get it together, Grace. So, anyways, what was your take on that?
Oh, I was just going to say, I mean, you know, and the people probably know that you can stay the night at the Conjuring house or, do an investigation, whatever you want to call it. I would definitely go to the Conjuring house. I don't know that I'd stay overnight, but I would go.
Would you go see the Annabelle doll?
I don't think so. I just
It's
like
just like
don't want to fuck with demonic shit.
I don't think I'll ever go into Ed and Lorraine's house, and I don't think I'll ever go into Zach Bagan's museum.
Yeah.
I think that like that's my limit. Like I'm already doing stupid shit. Like we already stayed in a haunted hotel, and I never thought I'd see the day. But I think I had to draw the line at the demonic demon doll thing.
Someone check back in 5 years, see where Grace is at. Has she
Eat my words.
stayed? Yeah, in either location.
No, like if we were
Um,
even invited to stay there, I don't think I could do it.
Ed and Lorraine's
Yeah,
house.
no. You know how much shit's in that house that's gonna fucking come home with me?
Yeah. No, I
Mm-mm.
do.
No, thank you.
I mean, that's just scary to even fuck with it, whether you believe it or not, believe in it or not. Sorry. Um,
We got what you meant.
thanks. It's too scary. And they're coming out with the fifth Conjuring. I think it
Yeah, and
comes out
guess
this
what?
fall.
Who's not gonna watch it? Me.
It's okay. I'll watch it for
Yeah,
us
let me know how it
both.
goes.
I shall.
Thanks. Yeah, no. So interesting news in that world. I never in a million years would have put that on my bingo card. That I didn't even know that Matt Rife was into paranormal stuff.
No, I don't think he is. I think he's just trying to cling on to any relevancy that he could possibly get. And I feel comfortable saying that because
I mean,
I
you're
don't
allowed.
like him. And
Yeah.
also, uh, oh, the thought was there and now it's
I went like this.
gone. Oh, yes, it's the
Yeah.
Airbnb.
Yeah.
The liability with that alone is
I mean,
insane.
it's like the Twilight House, like
No, we're not
no, no,
gonna
no.
die at the Twilight
No.
House.
I meant like because in my head I'm like, all it takes is one asshole to mess with the doll when they're staying there. You know
Or
what I mean?
anything. The Annabelle is the most known,
Listen, it's
well-known
all bad.
occult.
It's
That's what
all
I'm
bad.
saying. It
But
is.
I think there's a liability that you assume as an Airbnb host that you're going to keep those things behind plexiglass or whatever, sort of like the Twilight House where they had the closets
Hmm.
with the actual memorabilia in it. I don't trust the people that are going to rent the house.
I can't believe. Well, I'm wondering if the what'd you say it was the grandchildren that own the
No, it's the
artifacts?
son-in-law.
Son-in-law. So if he owns the haunted artifacts, I'm wondering if he'll allow them to be in the home with no responsible no responsible cult owner would allow that because not only could
Well,
they be destroyed, but people really could be possessed or haunted or
I
who
mean, from
knows.
the way that it was explained online, I mean, from Matt Rife and his friend, like they're saying that they're going to have the guardianship of the items in the house while it's on Airbnb.
Yeah, but they don't own them. That's the thing is
Right.
like
Like I'm hoping that somebody else is like, maybe the doll shouldn't be there."
or any of them, any
Well,
of the
no. I
artifacts
just
that they
I
own.
I latch on to Annabelle because I'm afraid of her. I'm so
Not
afraid
to
of her.
mention, people destroy Airbnbs all the time. You think people
Yeah.
won't find a way to open the glass box that she's in? Don't do that, by the way. She
Oh my
is really
god.
fucking haunted.
Talk about your own demise at that point. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yep. Has
natural selection.
yeah, Darwinism. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, so anyways, that's the current spooky news update. Oh
That's
my gosh.
crazy.
Peaches is laying on my foot.
Peachy Weech.
She's a good girl.
She is a
Um,
good girl.
so for this week, I did not want to do an unsolved mystery or true crime because the vibe just wasn't it. Like I think Katie and I reach these points every once in a while where it's just like you have fatigue talking about terrible things,
Yeah. Yep.
And I feel like life is already bleak enough as it is recently. And so I'm trying to switch it up. And I did want to see, before I start into this one, um, I wondered if you would have any interest, slash, the people would have any interest in doing an episode of Am I That Asshole? Or Am I the Asshole? Reddit posts.
Yeah.
I think it would be funny.
I think we should do it as like a bonus episode.
Yeah, like I don't think it could be like a legit episode from our series because obviously, like, that's not
Am
fitting the vibe.
I the asshole paranormal version? I wonder if we could find one.
I was looking for some today. I saved some ones that I was like, oh, I would like these in an episode. So,
Yeah, we definitely can.
okay, cool. Anyways, what I am going to cover today, though, is one of the top like 100 stories from No Sleep,
Okay.
the Reddit thread that people are going on there and posting stories that, are real or not real. We'll never know. But essentially, Katie and I have read a couple of these throughout the years. Most recently, I read one that was talking about like demons without faces.
Mm-hmm.
And was yours a no sleep story? Yes.
It was
Right? Or
a
creepy pasta.
creepy pasta.
Right. And it was Tales from the Gas Station.
Sorry about that. So sorry.
Yeah. But this one is a one-parter. I like made sure I
Mm.
found a one-parter because I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I think people do like the stories. I just don't think that you and I had the mental capacity for several parts.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is break right into it. I don't know if you've ever heard of this one, but it's titled Something Walks whistling past my house every night at 3:03.
No, I'm locked in.
So I do want to just preface this with saying that my childhood home address was 303. Anyways, yeah, I just like
Is
needed
this a story you wrote?
to plot twist. No, I don't have an imagination. So, all right. It says every night, no matter the weather, something walks down our street whistling softly. You can only hear it if you're in the living room or in the kitchen when they walk by, and it starts at exactly 3:03. The sound starts faint, somewhere near the beginning of the lane near the Carson place. We're towards the middle of the street, so the whistling moves past us before fading away in the direction of the cul-de-sac. When I was younger, my sister and I would sneak into the kitchen some nights to listen. Mom and Dad didn't like that we'd catch hell, and we'd catch hell if they found us out there, but they were never too hard on us since we always stuck to the one big rule: don't try to look at whatever was whistling.
No thanks.
Hard pass.
Yeah.
My neighborhood is a funny place. I've lived here since I was 6, and I loved it. The houses are small but well kept, good-sized yards, plenty of places to roam. There are lots of other kids here my age. I turned 13 back in October. We grew up together, and we would always play Foursquare in the cul-de-sac or roam around on the back porch to back porch in the summer. First of all, I was king of Foursquare.
Love that for you.
Church camp, man. This is a good place to grow up, and I'm old enough to see it. And there's only 2 strange things here: the night whistling and the good luck. The whistling never bothered me much. Like I said, I couldn't even hear it from my bedroom. But Mom and Dad don't like talking about it, so I've stopped asking questions. My dad is a strong guy, tall and calm. He has an accent since he moved to the US as a kid. His family, my grandparents, they're all from the islands. That's what they call it. My dad, the only time he isn't so calm is if the whistler comes up. He talks a little quicker then, eyes move faster, and he tells us not to think about it so much and to always remember the one big rule: don't try to look outside when the whistler goes past. Not that we could even look if we wanted to. See, there are shutters on the inside of every window, thick pieces of heavy canvas that pull down from the top and latch at the bottom of the window frame. Each latch even has a small lock about the size of what you'd find on a diary. My dad locks those shutters every single night before we go to bed and keeps the key in his room.
Okay.
My mom. I don't know what she thinks about the whistling. I've seen her out in the living room before at 3:03 when the sound starts. I could see her if I cracked my door open just an inch to peek. She's not out there often. At least I haven't caught her much. But once or twice a month, I think she sits out there on her big red couch just listening. The whistler has the same tune every night. It's almost cheerful. And then it like says like the whistling noise, but I can't do that. So guess what, guys? Pretend I'm whistling. Whistle.
Beautiful.
That's the exact reenactment.
Amazing.
Remember how I said there are 2 odd things about where I live? Well, besides our night whistler, everyone in my neighborhood is really lucky. It's hard to explain, and Dad doesn't like us talking about this part much either, but good things just seem to happen to people around here a lot. Usually it's small things: winning a radio contest, or getting an unexpected promotion at work, or finding some arrowheads buried in the yard. You know, the authentic kind. The weather is pretty good, and there's no crime, and everybody's gardens bloom extra bright in the fall. A million little blessings, I've heard my mom say about living here. But the main reason we stay here, why we moved here in the first place, is my sister Nola. She was born very sick, something with her lungs. We couldn't even bring her home when she was born and only visit her at the hospital. She was so small, I remember, even small compared to other babies. A machine had to breathe for her. We moved into our house here to be closer to the hospital. As soon as we moved here, Nola started getting better. The doctors couldn't figure it out. They chalked it up to whatever they were doing, but we could tell they were confused. My parents knew, and even I knew, that Nola was getting better was just another of the million little blessings we got for living in our neighborhood. So that's why we stayed, even after we found that out, that for every small miracle that may happen here every day, now and then, some bad things happen. But they only happen if you look for the whistler. See, our neighborhood has a welcoming committee. They show up with macaroni casserole and a gift basket and a manila folder whenever someone new moves in. First of all, I want to live somewhere like that.
You would be so good at being the welcome committee.
Literally my dream.
It really
Anyway,
is.
they're very friendly. The 4 people showed up when we moved in 7 years ago. The committee made small talk, gave me a Snickers bar, and took turns holding Nola. It was her first week out of the hospital, so they were extra careful. Then the committee asked to speak to my parents in private, so I was sent to my room where I still managed to hear nearly every word. The welcoming committee told my parents about how nice the neighborhood was, really exceptionally, like hard to explain kind of nice, and even told my parents about the even harder to explain whistling that happened every morning at 3:03 a.m. and ended at the tick of 3:05. The group, our new neighbors, warned my parents that the whistling was quiet, would never harm or hurt us, as long as we didn't look for what was making the sound. Oh my god, that's like itching, like that crave of like, I want to cheat. I just want to see. I just want to see.
Yes, yes, because you're not supposed to.
Yep. This is the part that they stressed, and I pushed my ear into the door, straining to hear them. People who went looking for the whistler had their luck change, sometimes tragically. A black cloud would hang over anyone that looked. Anything that could go wrong would. The manila envelope that the committee brought over contained newspaper clippings, stories about car crashes and ruined lives, public deaths, and freak accidents. Not everyone dies, I heard the head of the committee tell my dad, but the life goes out of them. Even if they live, there's no light in them ever again. No presence. My mom, I could tell she wasn't taking it seriously. She kept asking if this was some prank that they play on the new neighbors. At one point, my mom got angry, accused the committee of trying to scare us out of our new home, asking them if they were racist on account that my dad was from the islands. My dad calmed her down, told her he could tell the new neighbors were sincere and were just trying to help us. He explained that he grew up hearing these kinds of stories from his mom and that he knew they were some strange things that walked among us. Some of those strange things were good and some were bad, but most were just different. After the committee left, my dad went out to the hardware store, bought the canvas blinds, the latches, and the locks, and installed them on every window in the house after dinner. The first night in our new house, I crept out of my room at 3 a.m., only to find my dad awake, sitting on the living room couch, holding my baby sister. My dad held up his finger in a shh motion, but patted the couch next to him. I sat and we waited. And at exactly 3:03, we heard the whistling. And it's like the whistling sound again. Boo, 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 whistling sound. I wish I... No, wait, hold on. Can you whistle?
I was like, surely I'm not going to try right now.
Try it.
Nope.
That's close. I mean, that's not bad.
Archie. I
The
disturbed him.
dad. My dad does the whistle where he can like put his 2 fingers in his mouth and whistle
my
louder than
God.
like a train. Yeah.
I always wanted to do that and I never
Same.
got it. I
He tried to
just don't
train me as a child. It
understand.
never worked.
He tried to train
Anyway,
you.
yeah, it was not. I was like a dog. It didn't stick.
Yeah, just didn't take.
Just didn't take. Anyways, so again, they were sitting on the couch. 3:03 they heard the whistling. It came and it went, just like our neighbor said. The whistling returns each night, and we never look, and we enjoy our million little blessings every day. Nola breathes on her own, and she's grown into a strong, clever girl. My dad even joined the welcoming committee. We don't get new neighbors often. Why would anyone want to leave? But when we welcome or when a new family moves in, my dad and the committee bring them the macaroni casserole, a gift basket, and the manila folder. I can always tell by the look on my dad's face when he comes back if the family took the committee seriously or if we'd be getting new neighbors again very soon. Not long ago, a family moved in directly next to us. The previous owner, Miss Maddie, passed away at the age of 105.
Whoa.
She lived a good long life. Our new neighbors seemed like they'd fit in just fine. They believed the welcoming committee, took my dad's advice about locking the shutters since they had a young child of their own. Whatever newspaper clippings that were in the manila envelope, whatever evidence, my dad never let us see. But I imagine it must have been awfully convincing since our neighbors got along with no issues for the first month. One night, when our new neighbors had to leave town, they sent their son, Holden, to stay with us. He was 12, a year under me, and in school. I didn't know him well before that night, but as soon as his parents dropped him off after dinner, I could tell it was going to be a bad time. Do you know who was always out there whistling every night? Holden asked the moment the adults left the room. The 3 of us were sitting in the den, some Disney movie playing idly on TV. My sister and I exchanged a glance. We don't talk about that, I said. I think it's that weirdo that lives in the big yellow house around the corner, Holden said. Mr. Tolles? My sister asked. No way, he's really nice. Holden shrugged. Must be a psycho killer then.
Oh my god.
Nola tensed. We don't talk about that, I repeated. Let's go into my room and play Nintendo. We spent the next few hours playing video games, eating popcorn, and then watching movies. A typical sleepover, but I could see Holden was getting antsy. After my parents had wished us a good night, locked the blinds, and gone to bed, Holden stood up from his beanbag and walked over to where Nola and I were sitting on my bed. Have you ever tried looking? He asked. It's nearly time. Like most sleepovers, we conveniently ignored any suggestion of a bedtime. I was shocked to see that he was right, and it was almost 3 a.m. I sighed. We don't... See, I can't. I can't even try to look because my dad locks the blinds every night and hides the key, he continues, ignoring me. So does our dad, Nola says. No, he replied. No, he doesn't. You saw him do it, I said, a little sharper than I meant to sound. Holden grinned. Your dad locks the blinds, yeah, but he doesn't hide the key. He keeps it right on his normal keychain. So, I asked, worried that I already knew what he would say next, because I had noticed that my dad didn't bother hiding the key anymore after all these years, because he knows we take it seriously. So after your dad locked up, before your parents went to bed, I went to the bathroom. And on my way, I may have peeked into their room, and I may have seen your dad's keychain on his nightstand, and I maybe went in and borrowed the key to the blinds. Nola and I stared at him, and his grin only grew wider. You're lying, I said. Holden shrugged. You can check if you want. Just open your parents' door and look. You'll see his keychain right there on the nightstand. Stay here, I told both of them. Don't move a muscle. I hurried over to my parents' room, but hesitated by the door. If Holden wasn't lying, my dad would be angry. Beyond angry. I was scared thinking about it, but more scared of an open window where the Whistler was right outside. I opened the door, barely an inch, and looked in, but it was too dark to see. Taking a breath, I walked into the room. 2 steps in the dark, I froze. The whistling started, and I could hear it clearly from my parents' room. I never realized that they must have heard the sound every night since we moved into our house. They never told us. I don't think I could have slept through it. I stood there, listening for the whistling coming closer, unsure whether I should turn on the light or call out to my dad. Soft sounds from the living room brought me back to reality. Nola, I yelled, running out of my parents' room. Holden and Nola were standing near the front door, next to a window. Holden wasn't lying. I could see him fumbling with the lock on one of the blinds. I heard a click. He did have the key.
Fuck.
Holden let out a quick laugh. Nola stood next to him, hunched up, afraid but maybe curious. The whistling was right outside our house now. I think I made a sound, called out. I can't remember. Time felt frozen. The clock hands nailed to the face. But I found myself moving. I'm not fast. I've never been an athlete. Somehow, though, I covered the space between myself and Nola in a moment. My eyes were locked on her, but I heard Holden pull the blind all the way down so it could release. I heard the snap of it start to raise, and I heard the whistling just on the other side of the window. But I had my arms around Nola, and I turned us so we were both facing away from the window. At the same time, I jammed my eyes shut. The blinds whipped open. The whistling stopped. I felt Nola shaking in my arms. Don't look, okay? I told her. Don't turn around. We were positioned so that she was facing back towards the hallway and I was facing the window. My eyes were still closed. I felt her nod into my shoulder. I reached out the arm not holding Nola and tried to touch Holden. My hand brushed against his arm and he was shaking worse than Nola. Holden? I asked. Silence. I reached past him and gingerly felt for the window, eyes sealed shut. The glass was cold against my fingertips, colder than it should have been for this time of year. I moved my hand up the window, searching for the string to the blind. The glass began to get warmer the further I reached, and there was a gentle hum feeding back into my fingertips. I tried not to think about what might be on the other side of the window. Finally, I touched the string and I yanked the blind shut. I opened my eyes. In the dim light leaking out from the kitchen, I could make out Holden, pale and small, staring at the now closed window. "Holden?" I asked again. He turned towards me and then he screamed. Everything became a flurry of motion. Lights sparked to life in the hall, in the living room. My parents' footsteps thudded across the hardwood floor. I didn't turn to look back at them. My eyes were glued to Holden. He was pale. He had bit his lips so hard that there was a thin line of blood running down his chin, and he had peed himself. "What happened?" my dad asked from behind me. I managed to swivel away from Holden and look back. He looked. I'd never seen my dad scared before I saw that night. And in that moment, an old, ugly terror stitched on his face, a parent's fear. "Just Holden?" he mouthed to me, and I nodded yes. My dad let out a breath. He looked so relieved I nearly expected him to cheer. But then he turned to Holden, and my dad's face changed. I wonder if he felt bad for feeling good that Holden was the only one that looked. There was a knock at the door. We all froze. Holden whimpered. "Don't answer it," my mom said. She stood at the threshold of the hall. I'd always thought she was a skeptic and just humored my dad about the windows and the whistler, but that night we were all believers. I noticed that both of my parents held baseball bats. They must have taken them from their bedroom. The knock came again, a little louder this time. "Please don't open the door," Holden whispered. My dad walked over to him, hugged him close. "We won't," my dad promised, still holding his bat. "Nothing is coming in here tonight." Thud, thud, thud. This time the knocking was loud enough to rattle the door. Holden screamed again, and Nola clutched her arms around my neck. My mom came over and knelt down next to us, wrapping my sister and me close. Thud, thud, thud. "Call the police," my mom whispered to my dad. The knocking instantly stopped. My dad looked over his shoulder at us. "Do you think?" He was cut off by the frantic knocking that trailed off to a polite tap, tap, tap. "Police," said someone from the other side of the door. The voice from outside sounded exactly like my mom. Like a parrot was repeating the words back to her. "Police, call the police." Tap, tap, tap. "Police." My mom pulled us closer. "Police, police, police." "Please stop," I heard her whisper. "I don't think calling them will help," my dad said. "How will we know if they're the ones at the door?"
Oh my God.
The knocking came back harder than before. The door shook, then it stopped. After a long moment, I heard the knocking again, but it was coming from our back door. We all turned together towards the back door, but the knocking immediately returned to the front door. Front to back to front, then loud and quiet and loud again. Suddenly the sound was coming from both doors at once. Big, heavy blows like a sledgehammer. Then something started rapping against all the windows in the house. Then the walls. It was like we were living inside a drum with dozens of people playing at once, or we were a turtle and something was attempting to claw us out of our shell. "Stop!" yelled Holden. The knocking died. "I won't tell," he said, staring at the door. "I promise I won't tell anyone what I saw. Just please go away." We waited for nearly a minute. Then we heard it. A soft tap, tap, tap coming from the window that Holden had looked through earlier. Holden started to cry, sobbing like a prisoner watching the gallows being built outside their cell. My dad held him, brushed his hair, but never lied to him, never told him things would be okay. The tapping at the window went on for the rest of the night. We huddled together in the living room for I don't know how long. Eventually, my mom tried to take us kids into my room while my dad stayed to watch the door. But the second we moved into my bedroom, the knocking came back, so loud it was impossible to ignore. I was afraid the door couldn't take it. We went back to the living room and the knocking stopped. Only the tap, tap, tap on the window remained. None of us slept that night. The tapping sound stopped around 7 a.m. That's about the time that the sun decided to rise that day. We waited another 2 hours before my dad opened the blinds from one window. He made us all go back to my parents' bedroom first, and I heard him open the door, then come back in. "Okay," he told us, "it's done." Holden's parents came back around lunchtime. My mom and I walked Holden over to his house, and they all went inside for quite a while. Nola and I watched from the window. She stuck to me the whole day, right at my side, sometimes holding my hand. When my parents came back, they looked grim, but didn't tell us what they said to Holden's family. It was a Sunday, so we all spent the day together, ordered a pizza, and watched movies. That night, everyone slept in my room. Nola and my mom in my bed with me, my dad in a chair he had pulled over. There was no knocking that night or any night since. We didn't see much of Holden or his parents for the rest of that week, but by Thursday, there was a moving truck in their driveway. Noel and I watched them packing up the whole afternoon after school. What sticks with me most is how tired Holden and his parents looked. All three of them had the same pallor, grim mouths, and lightless eyes. Even from across the street, I could tell something was very wrong. Holden and his family were gone before sunset. I remember what the original welcome committee said to my parents when we moved in. Not everyone who looks at the Whistler dies. Even those that live have the light go out in them. For the rest of their lives, they are full of misfortune. A million little tragedies. I think Holden's parents must have looked, either to comfort him if they didn't believe, or share the burden if they did. I watched Nola some days, happy and young and alive, and I wonder if I had been slower, if she had looked out the window that night. Would I have looked too, to comfort her, to share that burden? I'm glad I don't have to find out. We still live in that house, in that neighborhood. We still hear our Whistler walking past every night. The blessings, the luck, the good things that are good to here are too good to leave. But we are careful. We don't have any friends over to spend the night anymore. My dad hides the key to the blinds very, very well. Not that I've gone looking. Some things you just don't need to look for. And that's the end.
Holy shit.
Right?
That was crazy.
Isn't that fucking nuts?
Oh my god, I would not look.
I love that. Oh no, I wouldn't look either. Fuck that.
Well, we know you wouldn't, Grace. We know how you handle scary things.
I literally would be like, the kid looks and I'm like, time to go. Go outside.
Sacrifice.
You looked. It's on you.
Yep.
That's how I would have felt. I would have been like, hell to the no.
Oh my gosh, that's so scary.
Yeah, I thought it was a good little scary story.
It was amazing.
Yeah. That's all I had.
And not 18 parts. We love to see it.
I know. Thank God.
You said it was like to be done in one session. I'm like, sure, that's what I thought about Tales of the Gas Station.
Well, I read this before.
Okay, the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my new motto in life is if I can't read it by myself beforehand, it's too long, then I'm like, we're not doing it. We're better than this, Grace.
It's a good motto. You should follow suit.
One day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so don't go looking outside if someone whistles.
Don't do it.
What's crazy, though, is when I was reading this earlier, I was sitting on my couch and a car was pulling into my neighbor's driveway, which is like right next to my window.
Mm-hmm.
And their brakes are super squeaky. And I thought it was somebody whistling and I nearly shit my pants.
I would have had a heart attack. I'd be like, nope, we're not doing this story.
Like, this is it.
This is how I go. It's the podcast. The podcast takes me out.
The podcast takes me out. That's honestly what I thought was going to happen. It was scary. But I survived.
Not today. I'm so glad.
Yeah. Also, I'm never looking out my windows in the middle of the night. Ever. Like, literally ever. I don't think I can think of a single example of when I'm going to look out my window in the middle of the night.
I would.
Why? Like, you hear something, you're going to look out your window?
For sure.
Fuck no.
For sure. We know that I have to know what it is, okay? We're locked in a house. I'm locking us in there. Don't know why. But okay, we're locked in a house and there's something happening or someone trying whatever it is, I have to know. I'm going to look.
Yeah, that's on you.
Yeah, I'm not going to look at the Whistler though, but I need to know what's out there. If I'm hearing commotion, I am peeking. I've done it. I've done it here.
You have. No, my motto is if I can't see it, it can't see me.
That's right.
So impractical, but let me tell you, I survived my childhood, and that's all that matters.
That's right, with the screaming raccoons. You remember that story?
Oh my God. Too soon. I think I've told that on here before already.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what episode that is, guys, but
who knows?
If you want to hear one of the most traumatic childhood stories I've ever had is that one.
I hate when Archie sits up and looks in the corner of the room. I'm like, what are you looking at?
I'm like, what are we checking out here?
Archie, don't. Now he's like,
well, I was gonna do an episode on stories about how cats know something is bad.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I probably shouldn't do this because I think it would just scare both of us too much.
Oh my God, yeah. Especially because we're recording at I know it doesn't
dusk.
look like it. Yeah, I was like, it's not night, but it's evening. I was like,
It's
you can see the
eve.
reflection of my window.
Yes. Yes. Someone just walked by with an umbrella, and I'm like, girl, it's not raining out.
Not yet. You never know in Florida, any second
Very true. Very true.
could
But
start raining.
yes. So if you made it this far, thank you so much for listening to my voice for a whole 35 minutes.
Hmm.
Um, if you liked the story or you have stories similar like this and you want to tell us about them, feel free to reach out to us a couple of different ways. One, in the show notes, it says send us a text. Two, you could reach out on our socials. Our socials are at Wait for Real Pod, P-O-D. You could send us an email, which is waitforrealpod@gmail.com. Or you could try to find our personal accounts. Good luck out there.
Yeah.
Other things, if you like what you had to hear and you want to hear more, please, please, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or give us some stars on Spotify. Every review helps us get our name out there, and we really appreciate it. And lastly, if you want to support us monetarily, buy us a cup of coffee. There's a link in our show notes. Because one, we're poor kids that want coffee, and two, maybe if we get enough, we're going to buy a lighthouse and live in it.
Someone said we should buy a haunted lighthouse, and I couldn't agree more.
I mean, I feel like every lighthouse is haunted.
Is it?
Think about it.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like it has to be.
Okay. Fair.
Anywho, is there anything else that I forgot for this week?
Subscribe to us on YouTube. I mean, I hope this isn't your first thing watching me just staring at the screen while Grace talks, but you know what? What the hell? If you've made it this far, go ahead and subscribe. We have all of 22 subscribers right now, and we love every single one of them.
Basically millionaires.
That's right.
Watch out, world.
That's right.
All right, cool. Well, then we'll always leave it as usual.
Go to therapy.
And don't forget to leave the lights on. I was like,